Hey y'all, it's your boy Shaq Keith, and this is Sneakers and Story on PRSVRE. Woo-wee! Right here we got the Nike Air Force Ones, camo medium lows, olive reflectives. Honestly, I'm a Forces lover naturally. I've been this way since a very young man. This pair is particularly special to me because I got it as a gift. And you know, this kind of represents the story of myself if you've ever watched me play. You know, more of a war-ready mindset. It's like camouflage, you know, with the green and the black. You know, as somebody who's been playing basketball since a very young man, you know, when you're around the city and, you know, you see all the guys come through, you know, some of your favorite artists or, you know, social influencers, you know, throughout life, you know, sneakers has always been a thing, like, and Forces have always been something that in our culture we've always gone to. If you've spoken to me or you know me, I'm very off the court. I'm very leveled. You know, I'm kind of more of a militant mind state. You know, I'm very disciplined to a lot of different things. And, you know, I've worn these shoes a couple times, you know, for a pregame outfit, kind of just to put myself in that space when it's maybe playoff mode or, you know, maybe it's a game that I've taken much more seriously than most, you know, a high pressured game. And I've worn these to kind of get me in that mindset of war ready. Mad. Yeah, right here, we got the Air Foamposites, University Blues. This is one of my favorite shoes for many different reasons. As a big guard, somebody who's, you know, likes to play explosive, likes to be flashy, you know, handles and do a lot of things. If you are a hooper, I'm sure you know and seen Penny Hardaway bumping these. 97 is when Foamposites actually started to really boom, and he's definitely a part of that wave. And, you know, Penny's one of those guys where, you know, as a hooper, you know, just like Baron Davis, just like D. Will, some of the bigger guards from back in the day. And, you know, I used to study him a lot growing up. So, you know, he kind of brought this drip to the world. Got these back in 2016. 2016 was a pretty good year for me. As a player, you know, I just came out from the Raptors 905. I mean, that summer was a good summer, and I got quite a bit of good things with these kicks on. I'm gonna be honest, these are definitely, now they're on-road kicks. You know, these are shoes that you'd want to wear outside, you know, in between your games. They're comfortable for the most part. They're definitely heavier to play in. You know, I've tried to play in Foamposites, and maybe it's just because of the makeup of how they make these shoes now. Obviously now in 2024, we have so many different shoes with so many different colorways that stand out. But, you know, back then, you know, a few years ago, I'm not that old, but, you know, this is kind of that first kind of shoe that popped out. You know, you see some of the elite hoopers, you know, coming out in these and different colorways, of course, and, you know, just the structure of it. The baby blue or the blue, University Blue, that's one of my favorite colors. So it definitely popped out to me in that way. This is actually the first Puma shoe I've ever bought and wore. These are the MB3s, Mellow Ball, Dexter's Labs. They came out earlier this year. I mean, if you do have a very good childhood, Dexter's Lab, I think that's kind of self-explanatory.
What are you doing in my chair?
You know, I'm a 90s baby. You know, I grew up watching the Teletoons, the YTVs, and, you know, some of these cool cartoon networks, as maybe they change it over the years. But Dexter's Lab is one of my shows, you know. You know, the color wave is definitely chaotic, exciting. And, you know, it's just mainly I got attached to it through the childhood memories of watching Dexter's Lab growing up. The first time I actually wore this shoe was when I was in the KMT Cup out in Lithuania this past season. It's one of the biggest in-season tournaments of the BetSafe LKL. And, you know, I was able to put up electric 25 points in about 20 minutes in these shoes against a really good team. And, you know, I guess that's the perfect way to enter into the breaking in of the kicks, you know. So that's one moment for me that I definitely appreciated. And I think after that game, I said, yeah, these shoes might fit me well. If I get a new pair of shoes, you know, maybe 2 practices before an actual competition game, I'll break them in that way. You know, wear them into practice, kind of try to do some of my movements, do some of my, you know, things that kind of get me ready for the game and just to see how they feel. You know, I've definitely played over 10 countries in my life. My favorite place ever, I would definitely say Taiwan. Taiwan was one of the best experiences I've had in my pro career. You know, and we know, if you know anything about the Asian culture, you know, shoes is definitely one of the top-notch things over there. Just the culture of basketball in itself, you know, as we've seen over the years, it's absolutely amazing over there, and I'm grateful that I got to experience that. Come on, man. I ain't even gotta say much, man. I believe that this is the most iconic shoe ever for many different reasons. These are the Jordan 1s, gym red with white and black. Michael Jordan's my #1, my favorite player ever, outside of Kevin Durant, of course. You know, just watching Michael Jordan do what he's done, you know, through what I've been able to watch, I kind of, you know, fell in love just with whatever he does. My first ever ones were low-cut ones. They were white, gray, and green, and they kind of had like some graphics on the inside. That's the first ones. I just feel like the red and black mix, like, you know, and the white just gives it a perfect pop. You know what I mean? And the black does that sometimes too, reverse way in different ways, you know, obviously with the different colorways, but I feel like the black and the red, it just makes it, you know, I see dominance. I see like fire. I see like, I just feel powerful, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the kind of look, and obviously that helped with some of the intimidation when Michael Jordan was playing, like him being a Chicago Bull, you know, moving the way he was moving, and the reds and the blacks, and, you know, what you hear about Jordan over the years, it's like, you know, that can be an imposing color, especially if you have a certain person or, you know, type of figure in that type of deal. So I feel like the red is definitely one of those type of colors that pop out and kind of make the shoe as significant as it is, and obviously the history of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. You know, without Jordan, I don't think the game of basketball would have excelled the way it did. So I say special because, you know, I believe one of his main pictures in his life, you know, Jordan side jump, man, I believe he's in ones. I mean, especially that picture in itself. You want to be like Mike. You grew up hearing that song, and I think this shoe definitely represents him in that way. And I feel like special is probably the best word for it, apart from iconic. These are definitely off court, okay? I think, especially for myself, if you've been able to see me play, I'm a very explosive player. I do a lot of different things on the court, and I really think it would be hard for me to be able to guard multiple positions in Jordan 1s. You know, but again, it kind of depends on your build, your type, you know. Some guys kind of try to bring that nostalgia back. You know, some guys will, you know, maybe slip these on to go hoop in, but for me, I feel like these are more off-court, just to, you know, appreciate the designs. There's so many different color waves, of course, of this same shoe, and especially in the lows. Those are I think lows are mainly my favorite, but again, I think this is more off-court, just to appreciate the beauty of Jordan's kicks.